Our session is now being recorded. Good morning, everyone. So this is the Academy of Entrepreneurship and Innovation Development for Teachers program, which we have been doing since February, and today is the last day, the pitch day. So as a brief background, this is the training program conducted by AE in collaboration with the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines, Caraga State University, and Mindanao State University Iligan Institute of Technology. So this is the training program, which is part of the capacity building efforts to help build the Mindanao Startup Ecosystem Consortium. So with the goal to strengthen Northern Mindanao's entrepreneurship and innovation ecosystem. So today is the final pitch, the capstone activity where you will be able to demonstrate your learning and preparedness to lead any aspect of your incubation center's operation within the framework of building and strengthening the entrepreneurship and innovation ecosystem of Northern Mindanao. So you guys will be given 5 minutes to pitch your ideas and 10 minutes to for question and answers from the judging panel. So right now we have our three wonderful judges who joined us today, which is we are very thankful for. So we have Raymond. He is the Assistant Director for Strategic Projects and Administration at Negros Women for Tomorrow Foundation, NWTF. So he is currently, actually he's on his way somewhere, but he's joining us. Oh, there, he's there right now. Thank you, Raymond. Next is, there you go. Hi.
Hi, everyone. Yeah. I'm on my way home to Bacolod I'm in Manila Airport right now.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Stay safe, keep safe. We also have Lucas who's joining us from Germany. It's already, it's way early over there. So thank you again for joining us. He is an expert in systems thinking, innovation management, and social creativity. As a student of Nobel laureate Professor Muhammad Yunus for 3 years, wow, and a former head of staff at the Grameen Creative Lab, he has contributed to the initiation of numerous social businesses all over the world. So thank you, welcome.
My pleasure to be here. Good morning, everyone.
And lastly, we have Layla. She is the adjunct professor in human computer interaction at UTS, the University of Technology in Sydney. So she brings over 10 years of experience in entrepreneurship, building new innovation programs and practices to drive client engagement. So hello, Layla. Good morning. And thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We are very grateful that you guys were able to join us today. So yep, moving forward, there are two groups ready right now to present. Am I correct or am I missing a group? Anybody, you can talk, you can unmute yourselves. Feel free to practice talking. So we have Sam's group and we have Siege. Who else is here? Nobody else.
I don't know if from the group of Sir Rodel, from Sir Melbert. Sir Melbert is here.
Sir, good morning. I am also waiting for Sir Melbert. We have already talked yesterday that he will be presenting the pitch for Navigato, but as of this time, I haven't seen Sir Melbert yet.
Maybe you could try to call him, Rodel.
Yes, I am trying to coordinate with him, but it seems he is out of coverage area. I've also chatted Herman.
All right, thank you. Hopefully he could follow. So let's proceed. Can we have Sam's group first to present and then Siege? Feel free to share your screen. You all have the permission to do so. And I'll let you know when the timer starts. Sam, are you there? There you go.
Yes, ma'am. Hello. Can you see my screen?
Yes, you can see your screen. Let me just spotlight you right there. All right, I'll let you know when your timer starts, and you could actually have more time right now considering that there are 2 groups available. So I'll just let you know when we'll move forward. All right. Ready, Sam?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good luck and have fun, everyone. Just, yeah, have fun. You may start now.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Samantha Manales from CDO Bytes. So let's start. According to the 2000 report of Forbes, there are 90% of startups who fails every day. The main reasons are lack of research, ineffective marketing, and lack of support. And that's where we come in. Welcome to CDO Bytes, for the Cagayan de Oro Business Incubation, Technology, Entrepreneurship, and Startups. Together with USTP, or the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines, and the DOSTP SHIRD, or the Philippine Council for Industry, Energy and Emerging Technology Research and Development, aims to promote innovation, technopreneurship, and technology development. You might be wondering right now, can I be part of CDO Bytes? And the answer is yes. We are targeting you, whether you are part of a university, if you want to build a TBI or an incubator of your own, we can help you. Just tap us or call us, and our team will be happy to help you in making and building a competent TBI in your city or in your region. Or if you are entrepreneur, you are always welcome here at CDO Bytes. And of course, where all these began, the innovation and the idea stage. If you have an entrepreneurial idea and you don't know how will I do it or who will I tap, well, we transform innovators into startups. And speaking of startups, we help startups by incorporating them into these incubation programs. First, we would like to spark the entrepreneurial spirit and the flame from the startup founders by letting them join the Spark Track pre-incubation program. It is designed to gear budding startups and sharpen their skills before they head into the main incubation program. So here in the pre-incubation program, we conduct free sessions, mainly on BMC, MVP, and the likes, and also we conduct free mentorship sessions from one of the best CDO startup founders. Next, if they are ready to proceed in the Firestarter incubation program, they will be submerged into aiming to aid Incubate's idea towards the fruition of creating an investment-ready startup. Just like the pre-incubation program, we also conduct free mentorship sessions from different experts in the globe on the startup ecosystem. If you have problems with marketing, financial, name it, CDO Bytes will find the perfect match for your mentorship session. And also, we conduct free weekly sessions about making you the most competitive startup founder that you can be. And then we have the CDO Bytes Beacon Demo Day, wherein startups will pitch their business to a room full of founders, industry partners, and investors in the hope of securing an investment. We don't just provide free incubation programs here at CDO Bytes. We provide different banner programs for awareness and networking. First, we have the brown bag session. We target USTP students here, and all they have to do is listen. And as we prepare them a brown bag of meal in exchange of their new ideas and new knowledge from our startup founders or from the CDO Bytes team. Second, we have the Bites and Brew session. It is a casual networking session wherein we invite different experts from the field or even startup founders to share their journey or discuss important topics for all our viewers. Currently, we reach around 200 participants yesterday from our Bites and Brew session. Thus, it is really a good venue for us to share what a startup is and maybe inspire our viewers to build a startup of their own. And also, we have the Founders Lounge. We invite a startup founder to have a chit chat or interview with our TBI managers to let them share their journey, their milestone, and of course, we have some fun questions to be asked to the founder. Next, we have the bonfire session. It is a panel discussion where we invite startup founders and other experts in this ecosystem to discuss relevant topics such as developing success metrics for startups and ending startup misconceptions. And lastly, we have the roadshow. At CDO Bytes, we don't put our knowledge and skills in a treasure box. We would like to share it in every parts of the Philippines or even globally by going to or traveling to schools to provide a free boot camp for students and even faculty to sharpen their knowledge and their skills on making a startup or entrepreneur themselves. These are the services that we offer for free. Yes, FREE, it's free. We offer office space and internet access, co-incubation program, training and mentoring, network and marketing, IP protection and branding, and of course, development and facilities. Yes, if you will be part of CDO Bytes, you will get all these for free. This is the CDO Bytes startup success story as of January 2022. Currently, we have 51 incubatees and 37 of which are graduates. We have 45 million total investment received for the startups, and they also got 69 million total revenue generated. And of course, they help individuals from their community by creating 229 plus jobs generated. Our TBI is competent as we were recognized as the TBI in the Philippines by the Philippine Startup Week in 2022 as the Fisher Kabalikat University TBI awardee. Here are some notable startups from CDO Bytes. We have Wella, who wishes to expand in 2022 in different countries in Asia, and we also have Hyperstack, Dirtbag, Pikatalk, Checkmate, and Street Buy. One of CDO Bytes success story as well is we are part of the top cities for startup in the Philippines based on the Global Ecosystem Report. In national ranking, third, Cagayan de Oro City placed third, 14th in the regional ranking, and 493rd in the global ranking. You may be familiar of some startups here in Cagayan de Oro City, so let's continue supporting them. CDO Bytes, together with other TBIs in Region 10 and Region 13, aims to create an ecosystem for a safe space for innovation and communication. Thus, we invite different TBIs to partner with us in the Mindset for Innovation Consortium. And we also invite government institutions, local organizations, local innovation hubs, private organizations, and other academic institutions to be part of the Mindset for Innovation. This is the super team behind the future unicorns. Yes, we are headed by our director, Engineer Bronson Mabulay, together with our TBI manager, Engineer French Maverick Lorelia, and here are the rest of the team. That's it. Let us beat the 90% failure rate of startups as we enable startups one bite at a time from innovation to incubation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sam. You may keep your presentation open. You can keep sharing your screen so that our judges can have references. So Layla, Lucas, and Raymond, I'm opening the floor to you.
I'm happy to start. It's more like a first question to you, Samantha. You provide all these free services. And first, thank you for your wonderful presentation. I'm quite impressed by the fact that you've already acquired 51 incubatee and you had generated job. That's really awesome. Very clear impact into the work you're doing. So you mentioned those free services. I'm wondering, how do you make your CDO Barrett sustainable financially?
Hi, Leila.
Yes.
Good morning. I would like to speak in behalf for that question. So more likely for us, for the meantime, we are crafting guidelines on how are we able to charge our incubatee. As for the meantime, it's for free, but the reason is that we are exploring the dynamics of how these incubatees are actually looking as a value for their startups. So we're discovering yet we are validating with our incubatee what is our value proposition, because that value is something that chargeable against our services. But right now, what we identified initially is uh, the network, the opportunities that we are providing, and also the space. We are providing them a very good space for them to hack and accelerate their business. But yeah, it's still under the table of negotiation within the top management. But right now, it's under the subsidy of the government. So as for the meantime, for its sustainability, so it means we are aside from the external funding that we are proactively looking at, our university internally funds it because it's under the subsidy of the national government.
Okay. So the national government has been subsidizing this program for the past 2 years, is that right?
Yes, through external grants, from Department of Science and Technology.
Right.
Just that last year we just started sustaining it in our own, sustained by the university. That is why it's still fresh for everyone to talk about its sustainability. But we're targeting the spaces, the co-working space, the launch, because most of the business model around the world, 70% of its revenue came from the spaces, from
Exactly.
the facility. Yeah, so I think that's we are heading. That's where we are also heading for.
So you're starting with a freemium type of model. You come in, you'll have a free space, free access to the internet and all the training program. And as they start experiencing the value, you start charging. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so what's kind of the profile of your incubator? Can you tell us a bit more who you've been able to attract?
What is that?
The people the founders you've been able to attract. What's the
Mostly they are ICT and multimedia based. So the ICT base are those came from most of them are educational technology. Some of them are fintech. Some of them are also into the logistics. I think most of our startup is more into the logistics. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm actually quite impressed that you've been able to generate 229 jobs in only such a short time frame. I have to say that's quite impressive.
Additional to the question to the answer about the sustainability or the business model of the TPI.
Yeah,
we're planning that we are putting up two business model. The first is the brick and mortar. The brick and mortar is a model that offers incubating with a lease space option with the service inclusion and business and professional services. That's one. And the second one is the pay later. It's where our mature or our graduates from our incubation program will make a down payment of for an amount. No, that amount should be discussed within the top management, and the remaining payments will be made when able. So those are the two things that we are planning to sit with the top management.
And it's all depend on how much the government will continue funding this program, I'd guess.
Yeah. So that's the challenge in the Philippines. I think most we're just starting to put up our TBI, and mostly it's rare to have a top management that really understand the operation of a technology business incubation. So that is why if they don't understand, they don't really invest, they don't really support the operation. So we're just blessed that we were able to get this huge amount of support with our top management, because they themselves are also they were able to tour Silicon Valley, and they were amazed about what should be a university will be, from a research university to a entrepreneurial university.
And so who are your competitors in the Philippines in this space?
Actually, right now we don't compete in the innovation ecosystem, but we complement each other, because I think what we if we're talking about competition, I think it's more about a healthy competition. It means that we are pushing each other to improve our services, to improve our value propositions. We have different niches within the TBI, within the region, and we don't really don't compete about you need to transfer with us, or you need You need you need to leave that incubator. We don't do that. So I said it's just that we are establishing a synergistic um, collaboration here in our region as a part that they are also a member of the consortium that we are currently developing.
Okay.
Yeah, super cool. Congratulations on building up such a successful program in your university. I'm a big fan of incubator programs, and yeah, you have a super impact as you have previously discussed, and I also love the extensive networking that you are doing via these various events, how you're keeping the community connected. I think it's so important, especially in the sector, to always keep an exchange of ideas and to share the stories of the founders who had already success coming through your program. So I really love this aspect. And I was wondering for your incubation program, how long are you supporting each founder's team, and how many teams do you usually have per cohort?
Hi, Lucas. Good morning. So I'm gonna answer in behalf of that. So the maximum incubators that we have per cohort is about 10. We also have 12 cubicles in our office for our startup. So if ever there are still startups who are currently want to use those cubicles or those office space, they can still continue working on there. And then for the duration of our startups or our program, it would run until 6 months. So per cohort. So part of that 6 months is the pre-incubation that Sam mentioned earlier. And then the rest will be the incubation proper and then the mentorship. After the incubation program, we also help them to find accelerators for them to accelerate for their that would be another program that we call co-incubation program.
Super. Very good. And as there was a discussion on the value proposition, and of course you're providing a co-working space, of course you can offer some lunch opportunities there to yeah, also capture some value, but also the most value you are providing is really in the coaching and in the deep incubation work that you are doing. And it's a lucky incident. You have this backing of the government. Of course, it's super. You're using it in a great way already. But of course, as Leila was already alluding, it's also kind of a threat, or the program is depending on this government-backed funding. So naturally, you are exploring ways how to become financially sustainable. And so it's probably also worth to explore ways how you can capture value on your core activity, which is providing the coaching and incubation. Naturally, the startups, or even if they are pre-seed stage, have a hard time acquiring funding they can use to pay you for your services. A model that I really think it's a great way for this kind of circumstance is a so-called income share agreement, where you are providing your service now and making an agreement that once the startup becomes successful and makes their first sales, they will share a bit of their income and pay back the services that you have provided for them. So maybe as a tip, I think Frank Maverick also yeah, kind of framed it as a pay later scale that you have, but definitely something worth looking into. And yeah, wish you much ongoing success and hopefully a sustainable running incubator?
Just to add with that, our alumni also help the incubator by being one of the speakers or mentors. So in that way, we don't need to pay another mentors to help our current incubators. And also, we have here this one startup who are willing to donate equipment for the incubator.
Super. It's again coming in on the strong networking focus that you have, and those relationships, they're always paying back in some way.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Congratulations, CDO Bytes, on your presentation. I think your startups, me coming from the Philippines, I'm very familiar with this grants that the three government agencies, the ICT, the OST, and DTI, have been giving to, especially in building the TBIs. And I'm one way or the other, I've known several TBIs also, especially in our region. So I guess building on the questions of Laila and Lucas, primarily on the sustainability of your institution. Or can you how one particular aspect that's been very important in with this is really building the ecosystem, the local ecosystem. So what have you been doing in terms of building, number one, building the pipeline of startups within the local community, and then getting other actors in the community to support, maybe networking, and at the same time to provide funding, some sort of funding to the startups?
About that, sir, we create a very strong networking and marketing strategy. So per quarter, we create at least 2 networking events, whether virtually or face-to-face, and we invite the general public. You may be a student or an aspiring entrepreneur, an investor, or a startup founder, wherein we will casually network and discuss different topics. And for the aspect of the funding, sir, if a government or a non-government organization has an opportunity for the startups, we forward it via email, or we communicate it directly to the startup founder that there is an opportunity so that they can register and sign up. And just to add, sir, most of our networking session, especially when it's held virtually, we could attract at least 200 participants from all over the globe. We also have participants from Asia and mostly in the Philippines.
Okay, that's good. Just some thought on that as well that you might want to be thinking about, that really involve the local communities, particularly the local businessmen, because and the local businesses in your areas, because these are some of the people that can really provide even angel investing for your startups. This has been done already by some of the other incubation programs here in the Philippines. And then the other one, I guess, my other question is, we've been seeing that some of these incubators all over the country, particularly the TBIs, are differentiating themselves by putting it, by being very specific on their expertise. Like, for example, some of the startups are showing that their expertise is on AI or Internet, IoT, Internet of Things. What particular areas are you looking at for your startups as a team for your TBI that you will be focusing on?
So there's a message from Sam saying that we are also on the process of establishing a CDO startup association.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
Any other comments, remarks from the judges?
I'm sorry,
go.
sir. Can you please repeat
Yeah.
the question? Because I think we have a
Yeah.
technical.
There
Yeah.
you go.
What I wanted to say was that one of the things that we've been seeing among the Philippine, within the Philippine space is that they've been really focusing on being an expert in one among the TBIs is being an expert in one or a few particular fields. Like for example, we have startups in Manila that are focusing on IoT and AI. Do you see yourselves working towards this, specializing in certain fields within the TBI space? And which particular areas are you looking at?
Most of our startup incubators and graduates are working on IoT and multimedia and ICT based startups. But currently, we have startups that are more on social entrepreneurship, but they are using technology in marketing or even for selling, or they are using technology in reaching the market that they would like to have.
Great. I'm good. I think we're out of time. I think we're good. Thank you very much for that, for those answers in that presentation.
There's a message from Geisha. We focus on ICT based and planning to have a AATBI for our other USTP campus. Do you want to expound on this, Geisha?
Just to add with what Sam said earlier. So yeah, as she mentioned, we focus on IoT, ICT based. So currently, that's still in the plan, although. So we are planning to have an Agri-Aqua TBI on our other campuses, since we have this campus here in USTP that focus on agriculture. So yeah, that's all.
Thank you. Any other questions? Layla, Lucas, Raymond?
No, I think I'm quite impressed, I have to say. Well done. You've done a huge amount of work, and it's quite incredible to see where you're up to within such a short time frame. And just reiterating the need to have a business model that is sustainable and independent from government, I guess, is my key sort of lasting point.
Thank you for that. Lucas?
Yeah, I can really second that. Really phenomenal progress in such short time. Respect for building up this incubator and running it so successfully. And also, yeah, I think what prevails is the most, yeah, the threat, or maybe also the opportunity to explore the ways of becoming financially sustainable independently from the government funding. And I think you will have some very intensive brainstorming sessions and building it up. And I wish you all success for this process.
Thank you, Raymond. Last remarks?
Yeah, I guess from my end, just reiterating what Laila and Lucas already mentioned, particularly on sustainability. We gave you already enough of ideas on how you can be sustainable, other than your ideas, which were also very good. So yeah, all the best. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for your group for presenting, and congratulations. Can we have a photo first? Sam, you could open your camera. Geisha, are your other group members here, or are you three the only group? Okay, perfect.
All
All
of
right.
our group members are here.
Sorry. Oh, there you go. Okay. Hold on. All right. 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank you, and thank you to our judges for your notable suggestions. Thank you.
Perfect. For the next group, are you guys ready to present?
Sure thing, Miss Angel.
Perfect.
Okay. Be share my screen in a bit. Right. So good morning to the judges and as well as the groups here at our our pitching session. Just to introduce myself, my name is Siege. I currently work as the lead for incubation at the MSUIIT Technology Business Incubator named IDEA. Currently, I'm not bringing our incubator, but instead I'm bringing the name of the university and as well as our consortium. So, based on the previous discussions that we've made over the past few weeks during the sessions that we had with Academy of Entrepreneurs, it has always been a discussion on how can we be able to uplift our startup ecosystem in North Mindanao through synergizing our programs in different incubators, accelerators, higher education institutions, and as representative of the Mindanao State University Iligan Institute of Technology, this is what we thought about. It's about bringing North Mindanao to the world. So this is our presentation for you. So who are we exactly? So who am I representing? We are Mindanao State University. We are a premier university institute in Mindanao dedicated to academic excellence. And other than just providing instruction and education, MSUIIT is known for its excellence in science and technology and its passion for extensive research and community involvement. And this shows among the accolades that the university has had over the past few years. We are a QS or a Quaccarelli-Simmons rated university, ranked 551 to 600 in 2021 as in Asia as one of the best universities, and also ranked around 15 ninth out of the 14 HEIs in the Philippines that made it. We are an impact-driven university, which is showed in our technology business incubator, where our TBIs and our startups are focused on impact-driven innovations. And it also shows on our rankings in Green Metric World Universities, and we are also an ISO ranked university. Recently, we just named as one of as the top university in the Philippines for the scientific index, as based on the AD Scientific Index or Alper Dodger Scientific Index for research. And our incubator in the university is also considered as the Rising Star Incubator, which is awarded by the Department of Science and Technology, and also the People's Choice for Best Incubator Team in the Philippines for 2021. And our focus, our driving strength in the university is composed within these four hollows or these four pillars. We have a strong innovation ecosystem that we support students, professionals, stakeholders, from idea down to commercialization. We have a strong instructional prowess with university professors and researchers have access to facilities and equipment, and also we heavily embody our university as a research university, and our strong part also in extension. So with that in mind, MSUIIT has been part of what we call as the Reseed program. Through the Reseed program, we have developed what we call as a collaboration of minds through what we call as our consortium, which is the Mindset for Innovation. But in short, it's called the Mindanao Startup Ecosystem Transformation for Innovation in Northern Mindanao. This one is headed by the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines, who has pitched um, uh, before us. And this is collaborated between funding different academic institutions, different technology business incubators, local partners, and local innovators to steer and drive innovation within our own ecosystem. Though we have started the initial groundbreaking and groundwork, we realized that in order for us to really develop and bring North Mindanao towards towards the global arena, we still have a lot of things that we have to change or we have to work on, of course. Our ecosystem, being in the Philippines, no, we still have a problem. One of the problems that we really raise is the number of startups that we develop per year. Though we say Manila and also other main key cities like uh, Cebu, Cagayan de Oro, and as well as Davao, all do have very promising growth for startups. It is still quite nascent, and it still needs to develop that thing that we call as entrepreneurial mindset. Most of the direction of students or individuals who are looking for a career immediately settles towards employment in the Philippines. It's always a hindsight to think uh, that you will start your career as an entrepreneur immediately, and that is what we are trying to change, to develop that acumen for students to really start to take risks and also develop the entrepreneurial mindset for such. Other cities in the world, other cities in northern Mindanao is still also not recognized in the global rankings. No? As mentioned earlier, Cagayan de Oro, one of our ecosystem places in the North Mindanao consortium, is ranked third, no, in the startup ecosystem rankings in the Philippines by Startup Genome. And but this does not show other cities that really have a potential to also grow and has a very huge technology adaptive market. Like for example, Butuan City, we also have Bukidnon and also Iligan City for such. There are also other cities in North Mindanao like Zamboanga and Dipolog City who are also areas of which markets which we can market our startups now and also develop startups, but are still yet to be seen by the global scale. And that's an area that we want to also cater to. Another very crucial concern for our startups is the valley of death. And that's during the pre-seed stage where friends and families and also other investments are needed. In the earlier stage of the startup, it's where most startup dies. So and that's where they need funding the most. And during this pre-seed stage, we don't see a lot of these fundings organized in our parts of the Philippines. I remember attending a VC meeting where I helped pitch a startup in Mindanao, and one of the VCs has told me, your idea and your product is great, but your location is not that great. So that just goes to show what insights some of these VCs do have on where we are positioned currently right now, and that's an area or a point of which we want to change and we want to develop also. And lastly is access to mentorship. Though we do have experts, we have started laying the groundwork for most TBIs. We do have our own mentorship program. We still do believe that there are some fringe topics and very important trends that we need to keep up to that we still lack mentors. Like, for example, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and other forms of innovation that we are still yet to have an expert with. And we believe that it's an area that we should be able to develop for. So that's why through this, uh, there is a concurrent need for the universities and us also to harmonize all of the things that we currently have in the ecosystem. Apparently, all of the problems that we have in our ecosystem can already be solved there. As mentioned by Sir Raymond earlier, it really solidified the point that there are already players in the ecosystem, but the problem is how can we mix them both together and bring them so that each and everyone can support the startup ecosystem that we have in North Mindanao. So therefore, one, there is a need for creating an angel network. Um, though we have the potential angels in our area, wealthy people, as such, these individuals do not know how to create a VC thesis or to create a venture capital or an angel investment thesis, or to how to pool these funds that they have in order to develop the startups that we currently have. And of course, um, we do have we do think of merging pool advice. If each HEI has their own levels of expertise, and also uh, uh, each has a specialized area of expertise, and each has a specialized faculties that can work as mentors for everyone, and we can share these networks to all of the HEIs under the consortium. Um, one of the rather major areas is also the increase of number of startups developed per year. Um, for VCs and angels, the key to always get the right investments is to invest in many at a time, so that that one unicorn or that one successful startup can really offset the failures that you've got from other more volatile investments that you have. And if we do increase the number of ideas, startups that we generate, it also can increase the number, or it can also increase the number of a safety net for VCs to also invest in us. Um, Other concerns like inclusion of industry to become part as a first technology adopter, or an early adopter for startups to be their first customers, or the increase in number of HEIs also developing startups in their university, and lastly, the misinformation about startups. Apparently, there's still a lot of people who cannot define, or do not cannot separate what startups are versus uh, the rather uh, in rather different types of business formats. No? So the aim is to get people to be more adopted to startups and learn about the misconceptions, and also learn about how they can build their own startups from their own space. So what can we do as institutions or as universities? Well, we have started the groundwork, being part of the RESEED program funded by the government. uh, but we already have a track record of collaborating. For MSUIT, and I believe for the other universities also, we've been able to collaborate with government institutions, private partners, private entities. We've been able to create agreements, memorandums with different government institutions, um, collaborate and talk to possible startup founders, and also VCs to reach out their hand, and also um, engage in discussion, and a lot more. So with that in mind, as an MSU IIT University, with our innovation ecosystem helping students, professionals, individuals with ideas, um, uh, industry, drive ideas from ideas down to commercialization with our supports in fabrication through Fab Lab, technology transfer through our KTTO office, our Premier Research Institute of Science and Mathematics, and with the resources for development of ideas throughout our 7 colleges in the university. We hope that you can help us. Um, we hope that you can bring us or help us put all our hands on deck to harmonize, and so that we can develop ecosystem that can generate startups tenfold. So join us in building our ecosystem. That is all. That is our presentation for today.
Thank you for that, judges.
Thank you for this presentation. Sorry, I'm going first. Maybe I should leave it to Raymond or Lucas. You guys want to go first?
Oh, go ahead, Leila. Go ahead.
Lucas?
Yeah, well, I can take it. Thank you very much, Siege, for your presentation, and congratulations on what you are building. Yeah, so we see that yeah, we have another incubator program. Is the focus also on the industry of technology and ICT?
Actually, for the incubator program, we do have a special focus because we're an impact-driven incubator. So currently, our program focuses on verticals of SDG goals. So anything that solves problems within the UN SDG 17. So we focus on those, either within the value chain or such. But throughout the university, most of the researches that have become spin-offs inside the university are mostly hard science products. Like, for example, polymers, or for example, one of the researches that also was spin-off was polymers made from banana peels, right? One other startup that we had, which had a recent funding for from the Department of Science and Technology, it was a roofing material made out of single-use plastics. But what separates this one is they have a different process, which does not include burning, because for example, when we create or most of the upcycling startups really use burning as a method for or melting plastics, or burning to melt plastics, which also still causes fumes and also defeats the purpose of actually trying to eliminate the waste and just like turning it into other waste, like something like that. So usually the incubator, what we do when we try to support startups within the ecosystem that is developed by different individuals, it's usually impact driven. So we do focus on impact driven startups. It doesn't matter if it's ICT, if it's hard tech, or if it's software IoT. So and we have that range.
Super cool. Yeah, really important to have a good focus and the strong purpose on the sustainable development of your communities, and therefore to build this ecosystem, and to this, I think, plays a very crucial role. I also loved your really the mindset or the mental attitude of wanting to have a holistic development of your incubees, and really furthering the entrepreneurial mindset, which is really at the basis of all what you and eventually they will create. What we saw was some threats or some lack in the mentorship, for example, which is an important aspect of really the services that the incubator is offering. perhaps you can explore via networking events or via reaching out to all the other players here in this class who are presenting, who have similar activities, maybe there to make more connections, as you were saying, and exploring perhaps ways to just freelance contract mentors or find a cooperative way of a mentorship network that all the Philippines incubator ecosystem can share in a way.
Right.
Maybe
I just like to add on that, Lucas. So I think that's a very good point, because I think for us, with the lack of mentorship, I think there are players that we have still yet to tap, and how we really go about it. I think that is why this reseed program was actually born out by the Department of Science and Technology, because the goal was to pull everything, to network everything, to network HEIs within the area, so that we can have like a good access of expertise. Like, for example, USTP, they have a very good ICT track program, as well as they do have like an aqua agri TBI. Same with CSU, who also has a good agri and also ICT tech founders and mentors that we also have, we can also have access to. So yeah, I think Lucas, that's really great.
Yeah, super. And maybe if you go back to the slide where you're showing
All right,
the
sure.
because this one was looking familiar.
Which one again?
Back a little bit, where you had this the slide where you have this one. I think, didn't we see this one also in the last presentation? So I think
Right.
we have here already the ecosystem where you have academic institutions, you have government institutions as funding behind. So really to take it to the next level of the cooperative approach, and opening up as a mentorship pool, but also what you were mentioning, and network of angel investors. I think it's such a great idea to also increase the value for your client startups. Their access to future capital is one of the most crucial aspects for the incubees. So there, I think it's huge opportunity, not just for your institution, but for the whole ecosystem altogether. So yeah, interested to see how this will develop over time. And not to take away too much time, so I'm passing out over to the next of our judges.
Yeah, thank you, Luca. I'll take it from here. Yeah, so thank you very much for your presentation. It was really great to hear about this university in Danau, and you basically, it was interesting to hear about the key assets that this university has. But I also found it really interesting that you were humble about also the challenges you are facing, and in attracting the startups and the impact on also the level of VC investment. So one thought that comes to mind is, in the research conducted in your university, what is the area of expertise that you have that may have a potential for commercialization? So that's one thing. You mentioned also that the location is not helpful. I wonder if there is anything specific about the location that you can actually flip it as a focus for your incubation. I don't really know Philippines and this area of the Philippines, but is there a specific needs or specific drive in that location that could be the basis of your focus? And you did say that the incubator is focused on impact driven around the UN Sustainable Development Goal. And I wonder whether you can also use the circular economy and being as like the main differentiation maybe from other incubators, but if that also aligns with the need of the specific location. So what I'm trying to say is trying to make it work, trying to draw on the specifics of the location to make it as the basis of the specific offering you're gonna build in your incubator.
Right. Ms. Leila, can I answer the question? So, to put it on first, currently the focus of the university in terms of research, and I think most of the commercialization efforts that we've been focusing on are in the areas of ICT, biotechnology, material science, health and environment, renewable energy, peace and government, and gender and development. So these are rather strong focus areas, of which we do have a lot of personnel who are experts with. So that's including researchers and faculty involved. With regards to, I think for the second question, it was more of, um, am I correct if it's more of the like circular economy as a primary what you call this differentiation point for us. I think we started thinking about circular economy as like a separate incubation program, definitely just for circular economy. But currently we've started creating a rather fringe or niche types of programs. Like for example, we currently run Women Helping Women Innovating Social Enterprises startup program, or social enterprise program, where we select startups, or it's funded by DOST, where DOST selects startups that are women led, and then we incubate them in a 12-month program. And then we do currently partner with the College of Engineering, um, linked with an international accelerator for energy. So those are just some strides that we're looking for. But basically, we really work around the strengths of the university, and we usually it's part of the selection process that we have when we open our startup cohorts for students, professionals, etc. One of the criteria that we look for is if these startups, or the startups that they are currently doing, something that we can actually help with, or something that we currently do have experts in the university. And lastly, I think the question about like um, flipping flipping the narrative on VC investment, for us at MSU IIT, we are located in we are located in Iligan City. So if you just for a little information, recently, I think around 2016, we experienced a siege. It was called the Marawi siege, and Marawi City is like 30 minutes away from Iligan City. And um, though we here at Mindanao, or in our place here at Iligan, do feel that it's safe, and we do feel comfortable about it, there's still that misconception among, for example, the international community, especially for VCs, that Mindanao is not that safe. So
Mm,
uh,
yeah.
so that's what we're trying to flip the switch, and we're trying to focus and try to develop startups that um, uh, either we try to develop startups into two different phases, or two different capacities. For example, one, they should be heavily sustainable. Community buys from them, or the market of their community is solidly around the area, so that they can recoup their expenses and then maybe grow, have a um, slow growth along the time. Or we have like another approach where we create products that suit other markets, so like more global markets. For example, we do have like a product, we do have products like uh, the Galansiang. We have like a reforestation service company where most of the clients come from either Southeast Asia or other neighboring countries, and also which is focused on B2B. So that's how we currently cope, or how we currently adjust how our startups deal with the lack of investments that comes like from other countries towards incubator.
And one thing that comes to mind when you were sort of connecting the level of VC investment with the
Right.
number of startup involved, it seems to me that it's not the number of startup involved, it's more the quality of the startup and the
Right.
stage the
Definitely.
startups are at, not the numbers. And the question is really, why are students in this university not interested in not jumping onto those programs? And it could be to do with financial insecurity, it could be to do with the work in the area. So you have like a much bigger problem to address, which is really, I mean, we were facing the same thing too at UTS, which is the university where I'm based. We have a startup incubator program, and we're actively trying to get students to enroll and to see it as part of their education. At the end of the day, the students, when they're ready to graduate, they need safety, they need a job.
Right,
And
definitely.
we know that, getting on a startup is not necessarily going to get them a job. It's going to get them the skills, which are super important for the future, but not necessarily the money, the salary. So I'm just wondering what can be learned from all those incubators in other developing countries that you can draw on in order to find a way to entice your students at the university to join the program.
Right, Ms. Leila, I'd like to also share some of how the Philippines also in the private sector also try to manage this. I think one of the rising methods for students to really cope, and also like for example to choose entrepreneurship as a career, is also through the introduction of venture builders. So I think recently a lot of venture builders have been popping up here in the university, not in the Philippines, where they get students, or they get seasoned founders. So for example, who have undergone, even if they're under the uni, and then they've shown that they can be like a good C-level executive, to undergo venture building programs, where at some point they might not own majority stake of their company, but they do become startup founders, and they start their own company, and then they're given a salary by the providing venture builder. One notable venture builder that we have, I think, is 917 Ventures. It's a company run by one of the largest telephone companies in the Philippines. Others are also Amihan Global. Those are just some of the venture builders, and even the government is looking for a localized VC fund that they can tap in, so that post technopreneurship class or post incubation program, we can immediately have that access to support. Kasi we've been actively talking about how students start a startup, and then eventually they run out of patience, because for one, when you start a startup, you don't get paid, you don't get salary, and etc. You're just doing your job, and for one, an incubator should be like a sandbox for them to also explore that means of opportunity for them. So in that sense, we're driving close to that area. Government dialogue is always part of it, and also private, you know, are also creating methods for us to develop as such. And yeah, for us, we're also thinking really about providing a small fund for like young startup founders to really try and test out their market and also build their sustainability for themselves also. So yeah, I think that's one way that we're doing it, Ms. Leila.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Siege, for your very nice presentation. I'm quite familiar with IDEA actually and the MSc
Thank you, sir.
incubation, and I applaud you really in in your incubator really having a focus on especially on impact, in the SDGs. I'd like to point you actually to one particular impact angel investing group here in the Philippines, which our group is part of, which is the Impact Pioneers. So yeah, you can be looking that up on the internet for you guys. But I'd also like to commend you for the work on really identifying the gaps in the startup ecosystem, particularly in the community, and building that community. So yeah, I guess coming from that, I just have two questions, and I do this really quickly because I'm about to leave also. So what I guess first is how do you also involve an idea is to really involve your graduates, your startup founder graduates, to build that ecosystem in the local community. So sort of your alumni
Right.
of the incubation, because that's been very effective. I've seen that to be very effective in with other incubators. And then the other one is perhaps something you want to think about is really building also on what Laila mentioned earlier, to flip that narrative of your area is to really maybe look at, since you're already in the impact space, really look at building that significant impact, particularly for the local community, or issues that are really close to the local community, and really put out that narrative out there, particularly here in the Philippine startup space. We know that there are events and national events which will allow you to do this. So I hope you
Good morning and
start
thank you for
thinking about
waiting.
it. Thank
So
you.
when airline
So yeah, just to add on and also answer the questions of Sir Raymond. Um, one okay. What was the first question again, Sir Raymond? Was it more of yeah, I remember. So it's more of getting startups as part of as champions, right? So I think for us as a growing or a budding startup ecosystem, that's a very valid approach that we have to entice other students, other stakeholders to take part. They should have an example to follow, and that is kind of what we actively also want our startups to do. So we get them involved. We do have like a monthly showcase or a monthly program that we do that we can focus not only the ecosystem, founders in the ecosystem, or technical experts, but we also do invite startup founders to start their own programs so that they can also be highlighted. Most especially that we're situated, or we're now online, and the borders are now like almost erased. I mean, like we have a person from Germany and Miss Leila also. So that's coming in from international borders. And yeah, that's what we want most of our startups to do is to become an influence. So as one, championing is one, and we also do actively create like a champions program so that students can come in, or like we students can come in our internship programs, and then they see that there are champions in the space that were like them in the past, and then have developed to become great startup founders. Lastly, with regards to flipping the switch, I agree with Ms. Leila and with what was mentioned. I think there is concurrent need to really change the narrative towards towards being more progressive and to create more impact. So I think that was a great added point that um, focusing on creating marketing programs that influence the impact that we do here at the incubators and what it does to the local community can really also help us. So thank you for those wonderful insights.
All right. Thank you very much. Layla, Lucas, you have anything to add?
And maybe just to close on what you just shared, Siege, and super impulse from Raymond. I agree. I couldn't agree more how much importance there is to sharing the stories of the champions, to share the role models, to show the examples of who are the successful entrepreneurs from the rows of the students. You know, who they have a relationship to, who they know, and if you share their story, this can bring the inspiration to the next generation of your incubes to take it to the next level. So I think this is definitely should be a focus area to also increase the volume of enterprises that you can build up.
So one thing we do here, and I do that in pretty much all of my subjects that I teach, is that I include innovation and entrepreneurship in my subject, but I also bring people from the UTS startups into the subject. So if you can integrate the teaching so that they hear about the incubator while they are learning the particular subject, they engage in the particular subject, and say, let's say you are teaching design thinking or lean startup or any of those things. You bring in the founders that are in the startups to talk about their own experience of using those methods.
Right.
And you put them in touch with those founders so that they become a bit inspired, because those ones are the doers, and then the class is more like the thinking. And you start building the bridge between the thinking and the doing. And hopefully that will bring a bridge to your incubator program.
Right, definitely. Those are some great points, Ms. Leila.
No problem.
Thank you very much, Ms. Angel.
Thank you very much. Can we have a photo? All right. 1, 2, 3, smile. Great. Thank you very much for your presentation, Siege, and congratulations. From the group, is there anyone else who would like? We're really running out of. Okay, there we go. Any other groups I may have skipped who will be presenting?
Navigato, ma'am.
Okay. Lucas, are you okay with time?
Yeah, I might need a little bathroom break, just 2 minutes.
Okay, sure. We'll wait for you.
Okay.
Layla, I understand that you need to leave.
Yes,
grateful.
Unfortunately, do need to be somewhere for a 2 p.m. meeting, so I'm gonna listen to the talk, but I may not have the time to give feedback or questions, depending on how long the talk goes for. And then I will have to leave. I will only, this would be my last one.
All right. Thank you very much, Layla, for being with us and for all your insights and feedback. So Melbert, you can actually start to share your screen while we wait for Lucas. Is there any other group who will be presenting apart from Navigatu? Or Navigatu, Melbert will be the last one?
I think I will be the last one.
Okay, perfect.
As part of, there are only three, I think, participants cluster in this
Right,
meeting. So we have from USTP, we have from IDEA, and the last one is from Navigatu or from Caraga
Alright.
State University.
So let's wait for Lucas to get back and then you can start your presentation.
Sure.
Good thing you were able to catch up. We were trying to reach you earlier.
Yeah, because I thought the presentation will start on at exactly 11 a.m. as indicated in the email. Yeah.
It's there's time, it's daylight savings. So right now, instead of 3-hour difference in time, they are now 2 hours ahead of us. Yep. Okay. So Lucas, this will be the final presentation for today.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Melbert.
Okay, so may I start my presentation? So in behalf of the participants of Caraga State University, so I'll be presenting the Navigatu as the TBI, the Technology Business Incubator of Caraga State University. So as part also of the mindset for Mindanao innovation. So our TBI is branded as Navigatu. So this is our tagline, navigating entrepreneurship towards victory. Okay, so our TBI is actually, our institution, it's Caraga State University. So this is one of the leading university in Caraga region. And Caraga region is actually one of the poorest, one of its provinces, the poorest, and the rest it's under cluster 2, which is just one step ahead of being the poorest. So I'm presenting this one. This is to, since this also entails about, as mentioned by Idea, in terms of the entrepreneurial mindset. At the same time, our city is not one of the good city in terms of startup ecosystem as part of the report of Startup Blink. So yeah, in terms of the journey in pushing startup in our region, it's very hard and really a very challenging journey. So that is why, instead of competing on those aspects, so we actually decided that our startup journey will start more on inside the university. So since aside from our university is still new in this journey, so we want that all our endeavors will be on pushing the entrepreneurial thinking or culture, at the same time on how we can shift our university from research-based university to commercialization. So that's really one of our top priority on how we can shift the paradigm in the university. So this is our product. So we focus on our students and also the output of our faculty. So that's university-based innovation, where in fact we have now spin-off from our faculty as an output from our research, from our research output. Then our customers, so these are target customers. We have from LGUs, government agencies, private industries and agencies, then we have industry clusters. So instead of the ideal startup that we are thinking, so why not being new, and given that we have a very challenging in terms of location to start up the tribe, so we focus on how we can extend our, we aside from extend, but move forward from research into commercialization. We're in our very main focus, it's the utilization of all our research outputs. So currently we have also a spin-off. We're in one of our cities, which is the city government of Butuan is already subscribing of one of our spin-off project or product. So these are partner programs. So we have Navigatox. So Navigatox, this is where we invite our target customer, which is the LGU, government agencies, private industries and agencies. We have the industry cluster to talk about their challenges. So which will be the basis for our innovation, or as a way of, or as an input, no, for our innovation, wherein our students and also our researcher will have, the baseline wherein they can take those challenges. Then we do also call for startup wharf. So this is our adjacent stage, wherein we conduct design thinking for the development of, and at the same time, so this is where we call for a business pitch as part of our entry criteria for our bugsay. So which is our incubation program, or a proper incubation program. So bugsay is all about is actually about rowing. So since this is where we coined our branding of Navigato, the Navigato from navigation. So it's actually coined from the Balangay boat, which is the the trademark of Butuan City. Then we have here the demo day. So as part of our sustainability, since we have our target customers are the government and private agencies, then we have the LGUs and we have industry cluster. So as part of our sustainability, it's the innovative and collaborative funding, where we get, as part of the partnership from the students or from the research, from the faculty towards LGU or towards our target customer. Then we have university funding, of course. So starting just this coming 2023, so we'll be having our university funding. So we're still on the process of bouncing back to our, with our endeavor in pushing the entrepreneurship in the university. Then we have, so we're thinking about, we can, conduct trainings and seminar to various agencies like the DTI. We have also the different HCIs. They are actually asking us to conduct trainings and seminars. So we're thinking that we can also get profit or revenue out from this one. So this is actually Navigato with 4 years of operation. So we started our endeavor way back 2018 as part of the HERIT program funded by the USTP Shared, and actually also received funding from CHED. So which a total are amounting to 12.8 million for 2 projects. So, and the funding actually ended way back 2019, and we actually stopped the operation with our incubation. Not necessarily stopped, since we still continue, but on focusing on how we can train the faculty in the university way back 2020 and also 2021. Then we also have the facility, and we have incubatees. So for 4 years of operations, we were able to form 82 teams from ICT and engineering, which is the focus of the USTP shared funding. But this time we are actually now, capitalizing on the resources and also the expertise of the university, which is especially with the location of Caraga, which is the top industry that we have here. It's first, we have the mining industry, then we have the tourism, and also we have the agriculture. And that is where we are also heading, or we want to be included in our incubation program. Then we receive investment. So this is already we from our graduates, so receive graduates and also spin-off, so amounting to 21 million. So that includes the subscription of Butuan City of one of our product here in the Navigato. So this is our team. So we have our project leaders, we have Engineer Jeffrey Tidiliosa and we have Dr. Rolin Sidagil. As actually, they are now our consultant in the incubation. So we are only 3 in the incubation now as part of the operation of Navigato. So yours truly as the head or the TPA manager, and I have here my incubation officer, which is uh, Nathan Pero, and we have community development officer with Jeneline B. Rifamonte. So we are all full-time faculty. So we are only designated and given with the loading. And that's it for Navigato. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation. You can leave your presentation open for reference.
I'm going to apologize, but I do have to go. I've got a 2 p.m. meeting.
It's okay,
So,
Lisa.
lovely being part of your journey, and thank you all for your awesome presentations.
Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
No problem. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, Lucas.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Melbert, for your presentation, and congratulations on what you're building as well. For me, it was really the most touching how you begin on the background of being in one of the poorest provinces of the countries. It's a major challenge, and it's definitely one of the hardest circumstances to overcome. But it's also one of the biggest chances to really grow and achieve growth. And you know, we see it, for example, in Bangladesh, where I was working for a long time. It's also very poor communities, especially in the rural areas, where so many problems are there. But exactly in this circumstance, we see the potential and the power that entrepreneurship can bring to really make a change in people's lives. And yeah, for Bangladesh context, one of the most important aspects to really lift people out of poverty is adding a microfinance aspect to the entrepreneurship. And I know in Philippines there's also microfinance institutions where I would suggest maybe to connect it also to this ecosystem, and there to find more opportunities to also reach in the community and build up the ecosystem from the bottom up. I also really love your cultural way on being connected to your community on the boat, and everything is on the navigation and the compass and all in the theme. I really love such plays. Really well done. And yeah, you also laid out the process of your incubation program very clearly, on first talking with your customers, what are really the challenges, what are the needs. So that's, I think, so important to really have an understanding what problems you're actually trying to solve, and then to go on the ideation stage and go into the incubator. You shared you have already 82 incubes, so that's a super impact. Congratulations. It brings me to my first questions. Do you have any info how many jobs these incubes have created over time?
Actually, we don't have the exact, though. With the 82, it's actually we have 3, which is very active now, but they are already graduated in our incubation. So
do you keep in contact with the ones who are already graduated from your program?
Yep. We still have contact. No, we still actually we're planning on different programs where we can help them, and we're actually still asking them or encourage them to take part on the incubation program with their other ideas if they want to still to be part of the program. At the same time, having a mutual, I mean, mutual understanding and also responsibility wherein they will also take part on sharing their, I mean, their experience and also their expertise
Bring in
and all
mentorship.
their learnings in the incubation program.
Yeah.
So currently we only have the spin-off project or the spin-off, which is a startup led by faculty, incubated or housed here in Navigato. So which is actually the MapX. So then I think we have around here around mga I think around 10 people working. So yeah.
Super. And how long has your program been running already?
So for the incubation program, we're only offering 1 year for
And
yeah.
since when is incubation program online?
Ah, s-
What
pardon.
year did you start?
In terms of the start of the operation, so way back 2018, November
Yeah.
of 2018, and up until now.
I see. So over COVID, you were really in the middle or
Yeah.
in the born stage of your
Yes.
program. How did you adapt to these new circumstances? Did you move
Ah,
many of your operations into digital, or how
yeah.
did you?
Actually, we use the digital platform as part of our incubation program, but the challenge is actually on our students. So given with our the challenges of being one of the poorest region, I mean region in the country. So one of really our challenge during the pandemic is our students really somehow felt that it's really a burden. It's additional burden for them to be part of the incubation program, given that they are also being, encountered hard time, in terms of, in their academics. So
Yeah.
that's why we actually, we don't really run incubation program during the pandemic time, since we really don't have a student, and really very, very hard for us.
Yeah, I understand. Of course, the pandemic was for all of us one of the biggest
Yeah.
challenges we encountered in our entire life. But here again, I think there's so much beauty in this whole concept of entrepreneurship, and especially social entrepreneurship, where you see, okay, my community has so much problems now. We already have big poverty problem, and now pandemic comes and strikes even harder. And here there's really the key mental attitude. Of course, it's understandable. The students say, "Oh my God, we have so much stress. I cannot do even additional things." But to see it much less as a additional burden, but to see it as a chance to overcome this burden, to use my entrepreneurship, to use my creativity and see, okay, what problem do we have here in my community? Let's design a business and solve it. So this really in a maybe in a communication way, how to talk to your students, how to get them inspired, how to get them excited to be part of the program, to see for them the value that they can bring to the community. And I mean, obviously, you have in your program a great value for your incubees. You've shown the numbers of the access to finance you've been able to connect them to, and there's so seriously value in what you're doing. I think the most challenge is how to communicate it effectively so that more people will participate and make use of what you're offering. And yeah, maybe as a follow-up questions on this 82 incubees you've had since 2018, the program starts. Do you know how many of them are still survived? How many of them are still in business?
So in terms of the active ones, so we still have one, two. So the other one is part of the Agribus program. So it's actually a program of Butuan City where they won as the grand winner of the Mayor's Challenge, the Bloomberg's Philanthropists. So they are the third party working on the app, and the other one is now working on GoFetch. So it's food delivery services here in Butuan City.
Mhm.
So yeah, only two are active. So
Yeah,
and also with the during pandemic, no, given that we stopped the incubation, but still we continue on calling for pitching, design thinking, and we also redirected our focus on training our faculty. Since we have also a challenge, I mean, challenge, no, in terms of how we encourage and also I mean, invite all our faculty, to be onboarded or embrace or to take part on the incubation program.
yeah,
So
yeah, super idea. I mean, who says only students can become entrepreneurs?
yeah,
The faculty, they have already so much knowledge. They want to share it, give it to the students, to the next generation. Maybe you can also give this impulse of, hey, why not use your knowledge and put it to actual business? So this is also a good mindset that you have, I think. Yeah, so
There's an additional comment from Rodel saying that for majority of our students, access and accessibility to internet
yeah,
is a really great problem during the pandemic. So online activities like mentoring and coaching is very difficult.
exactly.
no, that is
Yeah.
definitely.
Actually, we are also having a very bad, in terms of internet connectivity here in our region also. So that's really one of our challenges during pandemic.
No. Yeah, and that's also where we see again how the pandemic really strikes the most vulnerable even more, as such lack of access to communication or ICT can really cut the access also to such program to help you overcome your problem. But again, the way I see it, in every problem, there's an opportunity,
Yeah,
and perhaps that's the next business that you're incubating is will focus on bringing access to network to the poor communities, maybe via microfinance mechanism. But it's where your student or your faculties can get creative, and maybe as a really last remark, or to set the focus there, really start from the problems what you see in your community, and then get into the design thinking. What is the most pressing issue, what keeps the people from unfolding their creative potential, and then go design a business and go build it up, go incubate it, and maybe start on the ICT access of poor people. Seems to be one of the most pressing issues you have. So one of the biggest opportunities also.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Melbert. Let me just take a photo of you guys. Hold on. Rodel, please join. There you go. 1, 2, 3, smile. Perfect. Thank you and congratulations. Any other remarks, Lucas?
thank you so much, Lucas, for all the inputs.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. Yeah, I think on this program we've had a very deep discussion, and all is said so far. Maybe as a final remarks to the overall program. Yeah, I think it's super cool to see what you're building all individually in the Philippines, and super role also of Academy of Entrepreneurs in facilitating this exchange and to bring together these programs and share what each one is doing. So we had super learnings today, insights to the individual programs, and I always see it in a way. This is a concept one of my teachers gave me. It says from the best me to the best we, and then to the best me in we. So as an individual way, we've seen together a super me on 3 different programs who are all running a super track. Now let's see in the next level, what is the best we? How can we bring together these individual programs who are all doing a super job and make it really a collaboration, make it strengthen really this ecosystem on a national level, even look out further on the international way. You know, in Southeast Asia, there's such a phenomenal community of change makers, of incubation programs who are innovative, who are successful, who are bringing so many enterprises, social enterprises into fruition. So let's strengthen it. Let's build it up more. Maybe Academy of Entrepreneurs can play the role of really being the glue and bringing it all more together. We had talks on opportunities for having a shared mentor network, making a network of investors. Maybe you can all come together on national events where all the incubators are coming, where you all share in a similar way as we did today, but open it up more, attract the public, and get more awareness into the whole aspect of the entrepreneurship. So much potential I see in your communities, so much power, so much creativity, and yeah, take it up, make it a strong we, and then each individual has the challenge to find what's your role in this constellation, what's the best me in we. And so there's already super progress you're making, and there are many more milestones you can achieve. And I wish you all the best success in it. And the most important is to do it with joy. And then you will definitely come to a beautiful future together.
Thank you so much for that, Lucas. So that's something to ponder on. What is the best you and we? Is that right? Yeah.
The best me and we, exactly.
The best me and we.
Yeah.
So there you go. Congratulations, everyone from Navigatu, CDO Bytes, and MSU. Congratulations, you guys are all amazing. We can't wait for more for more news coming from you guys. Yes, congratulations with your pitches. Can we please open our cameras, take a photo, everyone? There you all are. So one thing you need to know, Lucas, Filipinos love selfies. Filipinos love taking good photos.
We all do.
There you go. Anybody else catching up? Anybody else? Okay, so we are 2 pages, so keep your cameras on, keep smiling. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Next page. Hold on. Okay, again. 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everyone. And Lucas, thank you so much for staying. We appreciate it. And thank you for mentoring them as well, for your comments and your feedback.
Thanks for the invitation.
Thank you. And if you want to share your socials for them to keep in touch with you, that would be great.
Absolutely. I can share my LinkedIn account.
So you can just type it. So guys, Lucas will be sharing his account. You guys could connect with him on LinkedIn. Networking is always great if you have a business or in the entrepreneurial world.
Absolutely. Yeah, feel free to connect with me. Feel free to get in touch. Let's talk. Let's exchange ideas. Also, Angel, thank you for facilitating it all, and send my greetings to Luis and to Paula, and looking forward to stay in touch and see what you are doing with this super constellation we have here in the Philippines.
Yes, definitely. Thank you again very much. And yeah, have a great afternoon, everyone. And good morning to you, Lucas.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to my coffee.
Okay, perfect. Have a good
Okay.
one, guys. Keep
You
safe.
too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.